Right, welcome back. We're talking about Google Cloud Compute Engine. The Compute Engine is a feature in the Google Cloud Platform. And this Compute Engine is the infrastructure as a service component of the GCP, that is the Google Cloud Platform. Google Compute Engine uh, is a service that is provided to make available customizable virtual machine resources for cloud service clients. So they can lease for a duration of time and on agreed terms. Google Compute Engine supports virtual machines that can operate uh, various operating systems like Linux, Windows, NetBSD, and FreeBSD. So with these resources in place, Google Cloud Service customers can use the virtual machine as servers. So it means that the server will now reside in Google Cloud and not in the company's data center. Also, companies will not need to spend huge money on server hardware. So now let's look at the compute engine. The virtual machine offerings of Google Cloud Computing Service, which we refer to as Compute Engine, is designed with the advantages of scalability. So you can start with small storage capacity, small RAM and CPU capacity when you start the lease, and you can then scale up the storage, the RAM, as your business grows and the workload and business need warrants. So this is possible because of the elastic nature of the VMs. You can also increase the RAM, that's a random access memory. Now, GCP has a predefined VM, which I would say is like the default or the normal capacity, which is with 15 gigabyte memory, but you can opt for a customizable one. With your compute engine, you can create virtual machine instances, as many as you want. You can also monitor the virtual machine instances performance across various metrics like the CPU, RAM, and the database usage, the storage usage. So all these are possible. The machine types, the virtual machine types in Google Compute Engine can be classified into three. You have the general purpose machine, which is good for database and web servers. Then you have the compute optimized machines. That one is good for operations that demand high computing powers, like gaming. If you want to develop game or you want to host game, then you will be better off with compute optimized virtual machine. Then we have the memory optimized machine, which is good for analytical functions that demand high memory usage. Now, after this, what I will do next is we will now go in and see in practical terms some of these features. So let's see the compute engine environment. Here we go. Okay.
This is the dashboard. You have recommendation. If you remember, I mentioned the fact that it has a recommendation feature which can recommend to you the size of virtual machine you should be using based on your workload, so that it can save you cost. Then you have this for activity. It's kind of a history to show you what you have done over a period of time. Okay, let me click on this and let's see some of the features we have in Google Cloud Platform before we come back to the compute engine. So you can see the home. Home is where we are now, and recent, just like your favorites in some of the web browsers on. So it stores the activities you have just performed recently. And here you have the billing. You have billing. You have identity access management and admin. So you see IAM, identity and organization, policy troubleshooter, policy analyzer. So there's a place to set your policy. Okay, then you have the APIs and services, marketplace, compute engine, where we're going, and cloud storage. Let's just look at it down. Then you have a SQL here. So we go back to compute engine. Let me click on compute engine now. Okay, so here we are. We have the virtual machine instances. So if I click on this, it will show me the virtual machine instances I have. I have only one here. You have 20. It will list all the virtual machine instances you have, so you can see it at a glance. And you see now it has taken us into compute engine. We are now in compute engine console. So everything that has to do with managing our virtual machine instances we do within this area. As soon as this one loads, then I will be able to, okay, here it is loading now. And we have the billing report as you saw earlier. Then we have VM monitors and explore VM logs. If you want to check the logs, you can set up the firewall rules. Then here you can do the patch management. Okay, so let's see. Here also we have instance templates. But before we go, look up here. You see, this is where you create new virtual machine instance in the compute engine. Here, this console is the compute engine console. This is the virtual machine instance I have just one here now, and you can see recommendation. It's giving me recommendation and it's telling me I can save $14 a month if I go by that recommendation based on the workload I have. All right, so if I'm creating new virtual machine instance, I click on this and I'll be able to create it. And if I want to import virtual machine from maybe on-premise and I want to bring it to the cloud, I want to migrate it to the cloud, this is what I will do. If I want to refresh here, you see start and or resume. If I click on this now, if I select this virtual machine, then see it says you can't start this virtual machine instance because it is not stopped. I have not stopped it. If I stop it, then I can start it. Okay, let's do that quick. Let me stop it. Let me stop the virtual machine. Okay, so you see, stop, shut down the instance. If the shutdown doesn't complete within 90 seconds, the instance is forced to halt. Scan it. Okay, so let's stop it for you to see. Okay, it is stopped now. So the virtual machine is not running now. Okay. Yeah, I think it's still. Let this one finish, then we go back to it. I'll give it. It's stopping the instance now. It has not completed the shutting down process. Alright, instance is stopped. You can see on the screen. Okay, now I want to start the instance again because I've selected it. See, it's grayed out here. I have to first select the instance I want to start. You can see, then I can start the instance now. Let me start it. Alright. Okay. So it's starting the instance now. Alright. So the instance, the virtual machine instance is started. Alright. So that is just about that. Let's look at the instance templates in case you want a template. Here we go. It's loading the template now. Now I want you to see this. Okay, an instance template lets you describe a VM instance. You can then create group of identical instances based on the template. So you can decide, you create the template here, and you can use it for a group of virtual machines. So once you create that template, you just use that singular template for the remaining. Take for example, you create a virtual machine to host your database, and once you do that, you want it to be the same. You use it for every other virtual machine that will host your database, and you can then tweak some other ones, but that will automatically will have pre-configured the virtual machine for you. And you can see here, you can select the machine type you want, the image, the disk type, the placement policy in use by the creation and stuff like that. So all those will be, see, create instance template, create instance group. You can do that. You can copy it. You can delete the virtual machine template. Okay. Let's see. Sole tenant nodes. That's also for a group. That's solely for when you have a sole tenant nodes are physical servers dedicated to hosting only virtual machines in your project. So it can only host the virtual machines. Okay, so we've seen what Then machine image. If you want to create the machine image, pre-configure it. A machine image is a compute engine resource that stores all the configuration, metadata, permissions, and data from one or more disks required to create virtual machines, a machine instance. You can use a machine image in many system maintenance scenarios, such as instance creation, backup, and recovery. So once you have the image, you can use the image for recovery in case there is any problem with your virtual machine. So that means you create your image and you back it up into a different location, not within the same virtual machine environment, so that if that virtual machine has problem, you pull the image and you use it to restore the machine image that is either corrupted or has problem. So that is about that. And you have some other things there. If you are familiar with virtual machine, you know what snapshot is, what images are, then disk image. Then if you want to patch, if you want to do your if you want to do patch management of your operating system, here you go. And this is where you do operating system configuration. Your metadata here, the zone you want, you select from here, because the zone you might decide to host your virtual machines within different zones. You have some in zone A, you have another one in zone B, and and C like that, so that it will improve efficiency. And also, if you decide to have it in different locations, then you can be sure that since you have a copy elsewhere, you can pull it if there is any problem with the network endpoint groups. Operation security scan. Let's look at security scan. In the next video, I'll be talking about how to create alerts in a compute engine. So, security scan. Cloud Web Security Scanner can help you find security problems in your app so you can head off potential attacks. Create your first scan to start testing your app. So if you enable it, then the API, okay. So I think manage Microsoft Active Directory. See here. So that is just a quick walkthrough. This is not an in-depth journey into the compute engine of the Google Cloud platform. Here we are in the security console. So let me go back. We're back in the compute engine dashboard area. So that is all we talk about in this video. Thank you for your time, and make sure to subscribe like this video and share with your friends. And remember, I'll be doing how to create alerts in Compute Engine so that if anything goes wrong, you have your automated alerts to alert you of the problem so that it can be handled on time. Thank you.